Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom, boom, and welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by ISight Drone Service. I am Jeff Stanfield with the world famous Andy Shaver.
That is right. My podcast is brought to you by Dirty Duck Coffee, and today doesn't switch. It's going to be going to Bangtail Whiskey.
You having a bad morning, huh?
Just hectic. Rain.
One of those days, and rain affects us still.
Before we get started, did you see Haskell got 2 inches last night?
Mm-hmm.
Whew. It's a rainy monsoon season out here.
So did your mom. It was a good one.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, guys.
It was way too early in the morning for that.
Okay, I couldn't pass that one up. On with us today,
Lord have
Mr.
mercy.
Adam Overvold and Trevor Hoggatt from ISight Drone Service. How you guys doing?
Doing pretty good.
First of all, I got to apologize for that because that was tacky of Jeff to say in front of you guys. I don't know what came over him to say something like that. I apologize. He has no tact.
Zero. Where you guys at? Y'all are in North Dakota, right? Or South
We're in
Dakota?
North Dakota. We got a few offices here, and we're currently at our Grand Forks office.
You're in Grand Forks. Do you guys? I don't know much about drones other than they fly over and they spy over us every night in Knox City. We've got tons of them. Can you give us any insight on what it is that's flying over our town all the time and all over the middle of America that nobody knows what they are?
Sounds good. Yeah. So we'll give you a little bit of an ISight view on it. So our company's about 6 years old now. We do industrial infrastructure inspection with drones. So wind, solar, ag, power lines, roads, roofs, ground surveys, progress reports, marketing video and pictures, LiDAR, and then we also have a manned operation as well and fly a couple Moonies.
What are Moonies?
Yeah.
It's a 4-passenger, smaller aircraft, high performance. So we use that to shuffle people around between offices, and then we also have a camera payload that we do some mapping with it from the air as well.
What are we seeing at nighttime in West Texas that flies over every night that's got red, white, and greens on them? Are those commercial drones or those government drones?
Out here?
Yeah, those are probably just normal planes and not drones.
No, these are drones. We see them all the
Really?
time.
Yep.
Yeah, all the time.
They fly just low enough to where if you put binoculars on them, you can see that they're drones, and they come out in like a grid pattern. So like you'll see one fly in a straight line over you, and then so like during dove season is when we see them the most because we're out here at night and going home at night. And like if you go home, first of all you see them, and then whenever you're headed home, you see them there's one, and then about 5 miles behind it, there's another one following just like a grid pattern.
But the FAA won't tell us what it is.
Yeah.
Helicopter pilots, everybody.
What part of West Texas you guys in?
An hour north of Abilene, an hour southwest of Wichita Falls. But it's not just here. It's all over Nebraska. It's the same stuff.
Yeah.
And but they don't. The government. It's got to be something government because they want. And they're big drones. Like that one behind you, they're probably 10 times bigger than that.
I don't know. That sumbitch behind them is pretty fucking big.
These are big drones. And I've seen them as low as...
There's something that looks like that?
Probably so.
No, maybe.
Those are a couple military drones that they have over at the Air Force Base here in Grand Forks. One of them is just used for high-level reconnaissance, and another one is a little lower-level reconnaissance, and then that one's also armed as well. So, but they're probably doing border security or something like that.
They're a long way from the border if they are.
Well, I wonder, I've thought this before, I wonder if they're doing
practices,
like training out here. You know, because I mean, if
that most likely is,
if the son of a
they
bitch
do a lot of that
falls,
as well.
if it falls, you might hit a cow or something out here, but you're probably not going to hit a person.
Same up here in North Dakota. You might hit a cornfield, and that's about
Right,
it.
The local helicopter guys out here have called, and they can't get an answer either. But they'll go lights out if a helicopter gets close to them. It's really weird.
Oh, wow.
It's weird. It's just weird. So, anyways, let's go back to ISight. So, you guys started this business 20 years ago. Nobody would have thought of drone business. This is capitalism at its greatest, and I think it's a great deal. What do y'all do for like the windmills? What kind of jobs would they be having y'all do?
So we do a blade inspection for those is primarily what we do for wind turbines. So inspect all 4 sides of all 3 blades. And the famous line in the drone industry, if it's dull, dirty, or dangerous, we can do it cheaper, better, faster.
Okay.
So, it's pretty dull, dirty job to go and climb off the nacelle of a wind tower, and it's pretty dangerous. So It'll also take a normal guy about 8 hours to inspect one wind turbine if he's climbing on ropes and whatnot. Or we can usually do it within 30 to 40 minutes with a drone.
Now, you said all 4 sides?
All 4 sides of all 3 blades. So you got the leading edge, the suction side, the pressure side, and the trailing edge of a wind turbine blade.
I did not know that. I thought it was front and back.
So how close can you get before it sucks your damn drone into this thing?
Oh, so we stop them. We stop
Okay.
the blades, and we put one blade straight up, and then we'll inspect it once it's braked and locked out.
So they'll move it, lock a blade. You'll fly all 4 sides of it. Then they'll move the next blade up, and you'll do all 4. Or do you do all of them while they're stopped?
We set it up one time, and then we fly all 3 blades.
Okay.
Right away. We just put one blade straight up, and then we let her buck and fly them all.
So how did this start for you? Like, were you just playing around with a drone one day, like when the technology started coming around, and you were like, hey, let's turn this into a business? Or what was your background to get this going?
So Trevor and I don't own the company. We work at it. I'm the chief pilot, and Trevor's one of our newer pilots, and it's awesome to have some great talent. And he also brought, he found you guys, and he's the one that listens to your show and brought us to your attention. So it's awesome that the newer, younger talent is bringing us to that. But we got into the drones, or at least I got into the drones back in 2014. I graduated from the University of North Dakota, actually, with an aviation management degree and an unmanned aircraft systems degree. So the college up here was actually training a degree on unmanned aircraft systems.
In 2014.
So that's what got me into it.
First of all,
what was that?
In 2014.
That's when I graduated.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a newer program.
Well, no shit, Jeff. But like I started knowing about drones and like people dicking around with them like 3 years ago. I didn't even see this on the horizon in 2014.
Well,
Fucking North Dakota, they're all over it.
Well, you did go to Texas Tech, so we understand that. First of all, I would like to apologize for any problems we're going to cause Trevor for bringing y'all on board with us, because I know he's got to be nervous as hell. I would be. When you guys, you also have you don't have manned drones, you just have a manned airplane, correct?
That's correct.
Now, they do have manned drones, right?
Well, if it's a manned drone, then it wouldn't be a drone anymore because you got a manned on board.
Plane.
But they do have drones that can fly either unmanned or manned.
Okay. That's why I was confused, because the other day I saw some resort somewhere, they had drones that you could strap yourself on and they'd fly you around. I'm thinking, bullshit. Chico on the dock is not fucking putting me on a drone in Mexico and flying me around out over the water. That doesn't sound like a good way.
It's a new parasailing.
Yeah. So y'all do a lot. Most of y'all's business is set up for oil field or wind. Is that correct? Is that most of the majority of y'all's customers?
Industrial infrastructure inspection is what we go for. So anything to do with infrastructure inspections.
That's where the majority of the business is, and that makes sense. Now, y'all also do wildlife surveys, correct?
Yes, sir.
How does that work? Because a drone is better than a helicopter for this, because it'd be a lot quieter.
It's quieter and it's more precise. So, we have the ability to kind of go in, map the entire area, and it's accurate. And, an autopilot's flying it, and you can use thermal or an RGB sensor, and you can actually find exactly where the ducks are, where they're nesting, get population counts, all that fun jazz from that.
That's badass. There was a rancher out here, and he had a drone, and I don't know if like he was just ahead of his time or if he was just real lazy. But like he had it set up to where it would fly his fence every day, so he didn't even have to get out of his jammies to make sure all of his cows were in his fence. And like I said, I don't know if he was ahead of his time or if he was just trying to, sleep in a little bit later. But it's fascinating the technology of these things.
What's the model behind you? What is something like that? What's that?
That's called a Watts Prism by Watts Innovations. They're out of Baltimore, Maryland. So. Right now, we're in the stage of transitioning away from all Chinese manufactured drones.
Good for you.
And switching over to American-made drones. So this is the second American-made unit that we brought on board here or third one actually at ISight. So
what's something like
it's
that?
Exciting to all together with the payloads, the camera, the charger, the whole unit, kit and caboodle is about $54,000.
How long will it stay up for?
It really depends on what payload you put on it, but between 25 to 45 minutes.
Now, explain that. What do you mean by like payload? What all could you put on it?
So right here we got a gimbal with an RGB camera. We also have a thermal setup as well, so you can see heat detection, and then also a LiDAR setup. So
For the dumbasses,
a lot of different
for
things.
the dumbasses in Texas, what's a gimbal?
So you see how it can rotate and stay level?
Yeah.
That as the aircraft's flying around, the gimbal keeps the camera level and pointing at whatever you want to look
Kind
at.
of like a gyro does then.
Yep, exactly.
Gimbal. I never have heard that before. So that can stay up for about 45 minutes.
Yep.
How long does it take to charge it?
About an hour and a half, but we have 8 sets of batteries, so you can fly all day.
Okay, that makes sense. So this ain't something you're buying to spy on your neighbor lady in the pool. This here is a big time toy here.
Oh yeah, about as heavy as it gets too.
What's that thing weigh?
Yeah, fully. As you see it right now, it weighs 43 pounds. With a LiDAR setup, it's at just under 55 pounds for the small UAS rules and regulations.
How much weight could it carry if you strap somebody on it or something on it? Well, I mean, how
Max takeoff weight is 54.9 pounds.
So you could get it. You could get a kid if you needed to. You could strap a baby on there and fly him around if you wanted to. That's badass. You don't want to stick your finger in those blades, though. I bet. Whew.
No.
That would
all right,
wreck your day.
as a storm chasing guy,
Oh Lord.
have you ever flown one around a thunderstorm before?
I've flown one before a thunderstorm. It's not a whole lot of fun, that's for sure.
It's not. Why?
The wind gets pretty turbulent, just like if you're flying in on your airliner and you're coming in through a storm, how it gets bumpy and it's not a very fun ride.
Right.
It's the same thing flying a drone.
Yeah.
Because the storm chasing guys now, that's the new thing, is to buy them a drone and try to fly them close to them. And that's why I was curious about that.
These ones are too expensive to go fly through a tornado in my mind.
I would agree with you.
Well,
I'm not so sure that our insurance lady would be too appreciative if we did that either.
What's the range on that thing?
3.9 miles, but right now with the way the rules and regulations are set up, we have to stay line of sight, so we have to be able to see it. But the cool part is North Dakota is pushing beyond visual line of sight, and they have a radar network coming up, and we'll be able to fly inside the network beyond visual line of sight.
Well, this is going to be a dumb question, I'm sure. How does Amazon and them deliver packages when they're not in line of sight of it?
They don't. They are actually just doing from what I've understand and what I know. They'll drive down like a dirt road or a gravel road out in the boondocks, and then they'll send up a drone and it'll go to the end of the driveway, so they don't have to drive down all the long driveways. So that's what their first goal is set up.
So they're going to drive down the driveway, get out, get the drone out, put the package in it, then take it and fly it. The lazy fucks could.
No, the drone will just come right out the top of the truck, and then the drone will go down the driveway, the half-mile driveway out in the boondocks, and they'll go drop off their package there. Then it'll come back and then go to the next
They
one.
don't seem very cost-effective.
well, you don't have to get.
It's a proof of concept to prove that they can do it before they go big time and then start sending drones around the city.
Before they get the blimp.
So they're not dropping them out of they're not doing it in big cities then. This is all. I've always heard they're doing drone delivery, so this isn't really happening yet then.
No, the rules and regulations haven't come around to have them do it yet.
Do you think that the rules and regulations will come around? Like, do you think the Amazon warehouse will just be like a sci-fi movie and drones leaving it at 5 a.m. with packages attached to it?
20 years from now? Oh, for sure.
Oh, shit.
There's gonna be a lot of fucked up messes. People are gonna have packages falling in their yard and all kinds of shit. They will have more personality than my new UPS guy because he has 0. So what's the difference getting a drone or the new UPS guy?
If you thought your packages were broken bad now, whenever you get them, just wait until drones are like dropping. How high do they fly?
So now can fly up to about 400 feet, and that's again due to regulations.
400 feet? Yeah. That new laptop or whatever you ordered from Amazon, that'll survive the fall.
They're not dropping them from 400 feet. They got little winches, or they'll come down and get close to the ground. And then
some will
down.
fuck up. Listen, if I opt in for the drone delivery service, it's dropping my package before it gets to me. It's dropping it in the river. The winch is gonna break. I promise you.
If it's Amazon, it'll work. If it's U.S. Postal Service, is when it'd be fucked up. So I'll give it that. As a judge in Texas, we have to talk about drones now, something we used to not do. A lot of people think if a drone is flying over your house, it's okay for you to shoot it out of the air.
Yeah.
And that is a misconception. You cannot do that.
That is a federal
That is.
crime.
But people all the time, they're like, well, damn, if you see one flying over your house, just shoot the sumbitch down. Well, you can't do that.
Do you run into that attitude up there, or is that just like a Texas Southern thing?
So we've actually worked in 39 states and 9 countries, and we've kind of ran into that a little bit of everywhere you go. But most of the time, the people that you run into are actually just curious and they want to know and talk to you, and they're pretty polite and kind. But every now and then you run into that folk that, oh, you're flying over my house, you're spying on my wife. It's like, no, I got better things to do than
Trust
that, man.
me, Elda is 400 pounds. I'm not spying on shit, buddy. Nobody wants to see that at my office. I'm telling you. So, like, don't worry about it. I think a lot of that, too, a lot of that attitude also is just people talking shit. Like, you know, you get them out here at the lodge, and when the drones are flying over, we always have the hunters come outside, and there's always one guy that's had too many cocktails, and he's like, I'd shoot that fucker down. I go, okay, buddy, whatever.
Yeah, some bitch is up there 1,000 feet. You're going to shoot it down my ass. You know,
He couldn't shoot the duck at 60 feet earlier.
Yeah, give me a break. I saw you shoot.
This is where it stems from. We've dealt with that in the big cities in Texas, and we talked about this in school or conference. You have these young kids that get these, and they fly over and they're buzzing the swimming pools in the neighborhood, checking out all the girls and shit. And a guy wants to shoot. You can't shoot it out. If it's over your pool 6 feet, you can't do it. You just can't go shooting shit down out of the air, and that's the problem we deal with.
6 feet seems a little ridiculous. Is there a law that said, like, how close could you be?
It's all kind of based on precedence at the moment.
So
I think it's about like 60 feet or
60
so.
60 feet is as close
Yeah,
as you
technically you don't own
Air.
the
right.
air that's an inch above your house or the inch above your lawn.
Nope.
That's all federal
That's right.
airspace.
Really? So say a 12-year-old kid is flying his drone looking at your daughter sunbathing, and he flies it just
You got to take it to
Yep.
court.
take it to court.
You can't do nothing about it.
Now, what laws are in place to stop that?
There's none.
Could there be like a I don't know, stalking or something?
No. If he took...
It all goes down to like the peeping Tom rule and whatnot, so you'll get charged for that.
If he's taking pictures of her and shit, you could probably do something, but you can't do. I mean, it's going to be more of a hassle than what you're going to do.
Have you seen there's a video of like a Roman candle hitting a drone? Is that fake, or did that actually happen? Or have you not seen it?
That's fake.
Can't say I've seen that one.
I haven't
I
seen
saw
it.
it.
You saw it?
It's
Well,
fake.
it explodes and everything, so I'm
That's
like, that sumbitch has got to be fake.
It's fake.
It is?
Yes, I saw it. Guy shoots a Roman candle, and you know how they pop right as they hit somewhere, and it shows them hitting this drone 6 miles away or something.
It ain't 6 miles away, Jeff.
Andy.
Out of sight.
Texas,
it would be out of sight.
Texas Tech again, folks. I'm sorry.
How far can you see a drone? If 3 miles, how far can you see a drone? If you're
How
just
far does
standing
the
there?
fucking Roman candle
Depends
shoot?
on how big it is. So we have a fixed wing drone that's got a 10-foot wingspan, and we can see that about 1.5 miles to 2 miles
Okay.
away.
So not
Versus like a little DJI Phantom, and you can barely see that thing at like half mile.
see there, not
So
10
just
miles.
You
Depends.
got one with a 10-foot wingspan? What's
Yep.
This is a question y'all may not want to talk about, but what is the operating cost of something like that an hour? Is that something we can't talk about?
That's once you buy it, then that's like your biggest expense. But the price per hour to maintain it's actually pretty cheap. It's the pilot to pay the pilot. That's the most expensive part. You know, acquire the equipment and then pay the pilot.
So, like an airplane, if you buy a private jet, it costs more. The buying the private jet is expensive, but that's not the most expensive part. It's the upkeep and maintaining it all the time. A drone isn't near as expensive to upkeep then, as I'm assuming, as a.
No, a lot more cost effective.
What's the downtime on them? Like with the plane, you got to have them, I don't know, inspected, overhauled, whatever it is, after so many hours in a helicopter. Do you have to do that, or is there any federal regs on any of that stuff?
It's actually all left up to the pilots right now. But the cool part is drones are all modular. So like if I wanted to replace this arm, I could replace that whole arm and these 2 motors in the matter of like a minute. It's just 2 bolts in 1 clip. Pops off, pop a new one on. So
now
downtime's not that bad because we house enough spare parts that you can swap out parts and keep on going.
Now, as the pilot, is there a mechanic on site that'll do that, or is it just so easy that like that's part of your job also?
It's part of our job. It's just kind of on the pilot, but it's a couple screws or a couple pins. It's really not too bad to replace.
And if it's something like intensive, then we'll send it back to the manufacturer and they'll do it. So it'll be like, at worst case scenario, it's a 2-day turnaround.
As a father of 3 boys who've come to me, and all 3 of my kids do different shit, when you told your parents you were going to fly drones in 2014, did they think you'd lost your damn mind at first?
No?
Really?
Because in 2014,
That'd be like my kid coming and saying, I'm gonna be a professional video game player. I'd be like, get out, go get a real job, kid.
and now that's
So before I graduated, I had already had an interview and got accepted the job before I graduated.
I think it's a great deal,
yeah.
and it's in the future. In 2014, my mindset would have been, you've lost your fucking mind. And now I see where it's a great, I mean, way ahead of the curve on this deal. That's interesting. So your parents weren't surprised what made you decide to do this in 2014? Because how many people did you know that actually flew drones in 2014?
Quite a few, at least a handful. But I knew mostly the people that are flying like military drones and that whatnot.
Okay.
And the commercial side was just coming to be. And I had seen a couple articles, seen a couple companies doing what they were doing, and I loved every minute of it. And most of our pilots at ISight are also commercial multi-instrument man pilots as well. So they have a full license to fly a real plane, and then they also have a drone license and do that too. So
Man, there's
kind of multi.
The potential for this is amazing, because every time I see drones doing so much more stuff all the time, I think, it makes lots of sense. It's just made life so much easier. But it's relatively a brand new deal. How many? There's not a lot of companies or drone companies, are there? Or there's probably more than we think there are.
There's a lot more than you think there are.
Yeah, I could see where that would happen.
Yeah. So, what have you ever flown a plane, like a regular plane?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're both pilots.
What's harder? I mean, drone or the regular plane?
They're not. If you're trained on it, it's not that hard. It's just like when you first learned how to drive. Was it hard?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it hard now? No.
Well, I was a pro whenever I stepped behind the steering wheel at first.
Andy
so.
drives like an old woman, so it's not like it's dangerous when he's behind the deal.
That's ugly.
Do,
what you say.
I guess.
But okay, so let me ask you this then, since they're both so easy, what was harder to learn on?
The real
The real
plane.
plane was.
There's just a lot more going on, dealing with other traffic and communications versus a lot of the time flying a drone, it's you in the middle of nowhere.
Well, and you don't have the threat of death looming over you if you screw up. Like, was the worst case scenario is you crash a drone? Well,
You crash a $50,000 drone, somebody's gonna whip your ass.
you're gonna get
so.
your ass chewed out, but an ass chewing is a lot better than losing your life. Have you crashed a drone before?
There's been drones crashed at this company. Yeah.
You personally?
Motor failures and whatnot. The thing that we pride ourselves here at ISight is we've had very few pilot errors. Most of them have been mechanical errors.
No, I mean I wasn't trying to incriminate you with your company. I just meant like like in your tenure as a drone pilot, have you ever crashed one? Or...
Oh yeah, the very first drone I built, I was out flying it for the first time, and I was all giddy and having fun flying it, and I was talking to my buddy Ryan, and all of a sudden I hit a stop sign.
So
And you built
come a long way since
you built
then.
that drone?
Oh yeah.
that's got to be sick, make you sick as hell when you crash your own shit.
How long had you been working on it?
It only took about 3 days.
Yeah,
to
but
build.
still, that
So
sucks. Right into the stop sign.
So,
Shit.
okay.
Did he laugh at you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I laughed at
Got a good
myself.
chuckle
So
out of it.
I've seen the drone races on that communist network, ESPN, that those guys do, the drone racing. Have y'all ever done any of that shit? Because them suckers are amazing where they put them at. Have you raced them ever?
Haven't myself. We have quite a few pilots here that kind of do the racing. So
Yeah, if you fly those, you'll crash multiple times a day.
Well, and they're not really
you're
expensive
just going
ones, are
so
they?
fast.
No, you could have like $500 to $1,500 in one.
Do y'all have races like around y'all's shop and stuff? Do you guys race them and stuff?
In the warehouse. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got ones that are like called tiny whoops. They're about a couple inches by a couple inches, and we set up a course inside our warehouse, and we'll fly around, and it's a lot of fun.
Y'all are some serious tech geeks, I'm telling you right now. There is no doubt about that shit.
We're
Yeah,
nerds. We're
my
definitely
youngest
nerds.
son is too. At least you're not playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, you don't know what they do in their private time, Jeff. Easy with that shit. A lot of people play that game. A lot of people play that game.
So
no sense in being tacky.
So when them guys that race professional and shit, does that pay? What's that pay, anyways?
I got no idea.
Pays a lot more if you win, I'm sure.
I'm amazed how fat the response time from the time you touch your finger to that damn thing moving is what's crazy about that shit.
11 milliseconds.
Yeah, it's instant. It's instantaneous.
And it's so fast. Okay, what's that big bad boy behind you? How fast will it go?
60 miles an hour.
What about the big ones, the manned ones, or not the manned ones, one behind
the
you?
plane,
the
they go
military
real
one.
fucking fast.
No, the military one behind you.
They go fast. I mean, that one there in real life, that'll fly at 60,000 feet, and it stays in the air for 44 hours.
How fast does it fly?
I don't know.
Top secret shit.
I feel like they're not. I feel like they're not being honest with us, Jeff.
So, do you have military guys that work for y'all now? Ex-military guys?
Yeah, we do. We have prior military guys that work.
They all work out of Clovis, New Mexico. I used to pig hunt some guys, and that's what they did. They were all drone flyers, silent killers,
drone pilots.
Or drone pilots. Excuse me.
So what's the history of the drone? When was the first one made? For I'm sure it was military, but do you know when the first one came out?
Back in World War I, World War II, they were actually using them. So the word drone is something that goes out and doesn't come back. It goes out and does its job, either gets shot down or doesn't come back to land or whatnot. And they were actually using them back in World War II as target practice. They'd send them off, have them flying, and then the fighter pilots would shoot them out of the sky as practice.
Wow. I did not know that. I thought you were going to say 1987 or something like that, not way back then.
When did the government start using them actually like we do now, where they use them and get research and come back like spy cameras and stuff?
91.
91 is when they started doing that. So it had been during the Gulf War, the first one, Desert Storm.
Yep.
That's fascinating. And now here we are. We're going to be getting packages with them in 20 years.
What all future needs do you see for them that we're not using right now? Do you see them using them in like medical helicopters and stuff, where they would go pick up people at a wreck or something?
It's honestly, the possibilities are limitless. So if you can imagine it, they'll build it and they'll do it.
That would have to be a beefy drone to pick up somebody at a wreck or something, though.
Well, they've got the technology. It'd be cheaper than using a helicopter. I mean, you're not going to.
So they actually have done that now, where they'll take a real helicopter and they'll retrofit it and make it a drone.
So an unmanned helicopter, basically.
Yep.
But it's like the same size, basically?
It's the exact same helicopter. They just took out the man controls and put in a computer.
Tesla helicopter, basically.
So
to change the deal real quick, hold on. Have you seen that shit they've got on the Texas coast for building the rockets to go to Mars now? Have y'all seen that?
I haven't.
Tesla's got a base now right at South Padre Island across Laguna Madre, and they've got these big 5 towers they're building there. It's called Boca Chica to Mars, and they're building unmanned rockets to go to Mars on the Texas coast. Had nothing to do with what we was talking about.
I was down in Brownsville a little bit ago, and there was a TFR set up around there for what they were building, so temporary flight restriction. But locals were definitely talking about it, but prior to that, I hadn't really heard much.
Dude, it was right by Brownsville.
Well, I think Elon has said he wants to die on Mars, he's done with this planet.
Well, if he'll go to Mars, he's probably going to end up doing that.
No, well, Payne, he's a big nerd about all this stuff, and he said he'd sign up. But it's what is it, 9 months to Mars?
I don't
know.
know
what the flight is, but they said the first people that go to Mars will not come back. It's a death wish.
Maybe we can send Biden up there to visit.
I'm not.
I'd be on board.
There you go.
I'm not.
First time you've broke code so far. I'm proud of you for that. You've been a company guy the whole way around, and you broke code. I'm glad to see that.
He's a company man.
Most of y'all's business is going to be, I guess, is wind energy. What's y'all's biggest clients? Wind energy
or oil?
That's probably our biggest right now.
And that's a growing industry.
Yes, it is. If you've seen all the towers down in Texas, you'd be amazed.
We live in Texas. We see them some bitches every day. And it's everywhere. And you were right. I mean, it used to. I mean, you can't look any direction from Knox City now and not see a fucking windmill. And it's funny. Nobody down here likes them. The guys working on them, probably their families do, but nobody else does. And the biggest complaint is it's an eyesore. But they don't ever bitch about a damn oil field, a pump jack. It's the same damn eyesore, it's just not as big. But for some reason, oil gets free pass down here and wind don't.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
It's all perception. I had a really good question, and Jeff brought up Elon Musk, and I can't remember what it was. Have you seen the Gulf of Mexico that's on fire?
It's out.
It's out now?
Yeah.
Why are they?
That was the craziest thing. They were throwing water on a fire in the water.
There's six little
what was going on with that?
Six little tugboats, and they're spraying water on it. Like, you don't think the ocean is doing a damn good job at what you're trying to do?
The best thing ever is AOC or one of them dumb squad members was bitching about it and said that's why we need more government control. It was a fucking fucking oil wells, what it was.
Right.
It was owned by Pemex, the Mexican government.
Yeah.
So.
And it wasn't even our government that messed up this time.
Yeah.
I remember what I was going to say. You guys have put the drones have put the Goodyear blimp out of service. Now it's drones that fly over football fields and not that poor Goodyear blimp. You don't see the blimp anymore.
Do y'all do any sporting?
I'm sorry.
Do y'all do
about
any
that.
sporting events?
We haven't.
That's what's up next.
Sporting events, weddings.
I'm sure you've done weddings.
Not them big things.
We actually have one of our former pilots. He flies a racing drone behind the sprint cars at the sprint car track to film them while they're
I
racing.
watch that all the time because I love that. That is an awesome camera angle, and it's all the racing events too. I watched NASCAR this weekend. They were on a road course and they had a drone following behind the track. That's got to be damn. I want on something like that. Is it a computer running where the drone stays in the same path all the time, or is that completely done by man?
At least the ones that I know of, it's an actual guy flying it. I don't know much about the NASCAR ones, but the ones at the sprint car tracks, that's somebody flying it.
That's badass. Because I'm sure like they try to like get different sides of the track or whatever. I doubt they're just flying in the middle.
No, this guy was going right with the lead cars right around the whole time. I was watching it the other day, and it's a cool angle to watch it from. But I was wondering, like on a road course in NASCAR, I wondered if it was computer graphed or if a guy, because you can't see the whole course from where you're sitting at. In a sprint car race, you can sit in the stands and watch the whole damn thing, I guess.
So, do you guys? How do you do like wildlife survey? What are the laws and regulations? Because I know they're kind of weird, especially with like waterfowl. But I was wondering, like, how do you stay up high enough to where you don't disturb them? Is that how you?
It depends on what animal you're trying to look for or work with, but usually you're working with Fish and Wildlife or a company of some sort or a government agency of some sort, and you're basically just doing what they're asking for because they don't have the ability to do it.
Gotcha. Because I know, like, when drones kind of got popular, to the Neanderthal like me, not the professionals like you, but you started seeing a lot of drone footage in hunting videos, and there were a lot of things like you couldn't do. Like, you can't use a drone to basically fly over geese, disturb them or anything like that. I don't really think that you can fly over geese and shoot at them below you. I think that's a no-no.
You can't. It's the same. It's the same rule as like flying a plane. You can't use a drone to go and survey the area within 72 hours of when you go hunting.
Can't use it to scout. Can't use it to do anything like that. I'm pretty sure if you fly it that day in the area that you're hunting, and this is at least in North Dakota, like, you can't hunt that day.
Yeah, it's a 72-hour window from when you fly.
See, I wonder why that is, though. Like, why you can't use it to scout.
Because of an unfair advantage.
It's the same as, like, you can't fly over with a plane to go find out where your deer are at.
You could.
It's kind of cheating. It's not really hunting at that point.
I don't think that's a rule in all states, though, because in Texas, if you fly a plane, you can hunt the same day. But I know in Alaska, you have to wait till the next day to hunt on a bush plane on big game. But I don't know. So up there where y'all are at, if you fly a plane, you can't hunt that same day that you fly an airplane in North Dakota?
Yeah, it's a 72-hour holdup.
Even for a plane. That's
Yep.
damn. I didn't. It's not that way in Texas. What's the weirdest shit you've seen on a drone when you're filming just something that you caught?
Yeah, nothing really comes to mind. I mean, with the wind turbine inspections, that's primarily what I've been doing. So
There-
pretty focused with the camera, just right on the blade. But definitely see some weird things out in the field.
What have you
Okay,
seen?
what out in the
Oh
field?
yeah.
There's a story here that they're not really wanting to tell. I can tell.
Out in Indiana, I mean, kind of strange. Like, no one really likes these wind turbines. And just drive up to one of them, and there's like a little swing right under it, like a little bench swing. So someone was enjoying their morning coffee under a wind turbine. But just kind of some random things like that. But
No, like, dead bodies or anything like that?
No.
See, this is another reason I don't think that Bigfoot exists. There's too many drones in the air. There's too many game cameras on the ground. If Bigfoot was around, we would see it by now.
Were you in Brownsville working when you were in Brownsville, or was you on vacation?
I was
Okay,
working down
nobody
there.
goes to Brownsville
There's a wind farm
on vacation.
in the area. But
Okay. The reason why I asked, one of them counties down there, and it might have been the one with McAllen, it might be where San Benito is. They found 33 bodies dead last month, just illegals that are coming across. There's 33 dead bodies. So when Andy asked about the dead bodies, I think, where the fuck's a bunch of dead bodies just hooked up? Well, around Brownsville, Texas would be the place along the border somewhere.
Is law enforcement is law enforcement coming around instead of like flying a helicopter to look for bodies and shit like that, or illegals on the run, or fugitives?
They use drones all the time.
But would they
yeah.
ever hire you guys for anything like that? Like a small, a little town in North Dakota that doesn't have a drone, a police force. Could they hire you guys to fly it and search?
Our police department here has had drones for, I think, going on 5-6 years.
North Dakota is cutting edge. We are
Telling
finding
you.
out.
Holy
I'm telling you
shit.
right now. They got drone races in the warehouses. This is where it's at.
Who would have thought?
What are you trying to say about North Dakota, Andy?
I've been to North Dakota. I don't see Silicon Valley in North Dakota when I go there. Hey,
the drone industry.
The crazy part is North Dakota has been labeled the Silicon Valley for
See,
drones.
Andy always does this shit. I'm telling you right now, about every 3 podcasts, he steps out and says something just blatant about something, and somebody goes, "Oh, well, actually," all the time you do that shit. He was trying to make North Dakota turn into be fucking Arkansas. Tell him, y'all got look at them boys. They got all their teeth and they've got electricity there. That is not Arkansas.
yeah. I did see, though, I was watching a documentary on Netflix. North Dakota is like a cult state. Fargo,
Here he goes.
it's terrible.
What is wrong with Fargo?
It's a cult state. Watch the documentary, Sons of Sam. There was more than one killer. I'm telling you, watch it. You're going to think I'm bullshitting you. Fargo. Go ahead.
Look at Texas. Look at Waco, Texas.
Well, listen, Texas is a much bigger state.
And the guy that burned that place down and set that place on fire is now running our fucking ATF. So you're right on Waco.
Cult.
Wacko, Texas is what they should call it. We agree with you on that.
Watch Sons of Sam on Netflix. One of the killers goes to Fargo, and like that Air Force base there or whatever, like all sorts of weird shit happen.
We had
lots of killings.
We used to have a lot of listeners from Fargo, but I can see that changing now.
Oh, it's a beautiful town. It's just a lot of satanic stuff.
I wouldn't go the real far in the beautiful part. It's Fargo, but it's a nice place. Y'all went to school in Fargo, didn't y'all?
Grand Forks, but I grew up in
Did you?
Fargo. So
Did you go to school with Wentz?
Carson.
no, I didn't. He went to NDSU. We went to UND.
He went to the football school then, right?
Yeah.
We got hockey up here. But
We went to the hockey school.
Did y'all play hockey?
Just club hockey.
That is a sport that I don't really understand, but it looks brutal. I was watching just mindlessly searching YouTube a couple weeks ago.
Here he goes again.
No, that goalie that got his throat cut, like back in the 80s or whatever. What was his name?
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Oh my God, it's brutal.
We had a hockey player got killed by firework this weekend.
Yeah, I saw that. What was the guy's name that got his throat cut?
So anyways, we've gotten way off of drones here, talking about Fargo and Grand Forks and everything else and serial killers. And Andy has trashed the great state of North Dakota, which personally, if I think great North Dakota and South Dakota is probably the 2 best states if he had a family to move to these days.
I mean, it is the Silicon Valley. Richard Zednick played for like the. Hold on. No. Wait a second.
Trevor's like, how the hell did I get us involved with these guys now?
You go. No, Clint.
No, I've been listening to the podcast for a while.
Clint Mahlerchuk played. Anyway, he got his throat cut. He was blocking the puck or whatever, and like a blade just, and he like almost bled out in front of everybody. It was
Okay.
a bad deal.
All right,
So-
Andy, for this dead airspace you gave us today. So what's the future for you guys now? Y'all been to 9. What countries have you been to?
UK and the immediate Europe, kind of around there. So Germany, France, Spain, and whatnot, and then some more fun ones: Japan and Australia.
Did
And
you
of course, Canada. But
did
does
you-
that even count?
Did you go to any? That's just North Dakota North. Have you been to? Have you been? Did you get to go to Australia or Japan?
I didn't get to go to Australia, but I went to Japan, the UK, Germany, France, Netherlands, and Spain.
Japan would be a cool place to go to. Did you like the food over there?
I loved it. I absolutely loved Japan.
I would like to go there. I have no. I would not want to go to Australia for nothing.
Why?
Because fucking everything that's deadly is in fucking Australia. Snakes, spiders, all that shit. Sharks. Fuck that. I ain't going to Australia. But I would like to go to Japan.
I would rather go to Australia over Japan.
Well, I'm not shocked. So what did you do in Japan? What were y'all doing there?
I was actually training people how to inspect wind turbines over there.
So you were training the Japanese. American pride, baby. That's right. Glad to hear that.
What a dick.
Trevor, you're kind of quiet over there.
He's nervous.
A little bit. But
Why are you nervous?
Not so much nervous, just quiet. What was that?
Why are you nervous?
I guess not really nervous, just first time on air. But
You're good.
You've done a good job so far sitting there and letting your buddy do all the talking.
You got to know your strengths, right?
Jimmy Johnson over there is doing all the work, I have noticed. You look just like Jimmy Johnson, too. Do you get that sometimes?
I have never gotten that.
You look just like Jimmy Johnson.
So the wind turbine that big business over in Japan, or is that kind of coming on over there?
It's kind of coming on.
Yeah.
They have a lot. It's kind of like I shouldn't say North Dakota, but United States. We have a lot of wind turbines on land, and a lot of other countries they don't have the excess land, so they put them out in the ocean or the Gulf or whatever. They're the seas. So like when we go to the UK, most of our work is actually offshore, and you're flying a drone off of like a 80-foot ship, inspecting stuff out in the sea.
When y'all are inspecting stuff, like here, most of our windmills are within 5 years old. We have 1 yard north of town, the first yard that we have here, and I noticed they got a lot of gunk and stuff coming out of them. The green energy bullshit don't work because there's oil and stuff. What are y'all looking for when you're flying? You guys are both shaking your heads. The older wind turbines, you see a lot of this, don't you? Is this pretty common?
I've seen a wind turbine that's been 6 months old and had grease all the way down it, and then I've also seen 40-year-old wind turbines, and they look immaculately clean. It just depends on who's maintaining them and operating them.
Do you believe that they're really clean energy for us? Or do you not want to answer that?
I probably
Okay,
shouldn't answer that.
That answered that for me. Same answer most everybody thinks about them. What is so you've seen 40 years old. Where are the 40-year-old? Where are the first wind turbines at in this country? In Iowa?
I honestly, the oldest ones I've seen are in Roscoe, Texas.
Oh, that big yard right there? That has been. That's
Yeah.
a big son of a bitch, too. There's a lot of them right there.
That's right in our neck of the woods.
Yep. They're right on the highway there going to San Angelo from Abilene. So y'all inspect them then? How
Yep.
often will you inspect a windmill? Once a year?
Wind turbine.
Usually once a year or once every other year, and then sometimes twice a year.
So what is your favorite, like, do you like flying that big drone behind you, or do you like something that's a little bit smaller? What's the...
My favorite's the hybrid project. It's called the Super Volo. It's got, like I said, it's got a 10-foot wingspan, gallon of gas, and it runs for about 5.5 hours on 1 gallon of gas.
So you're
So
going
it's not
bigger.
battery. It's just a gallon of gas.
It takes off vertically straight up on battery, and then when it gets to like 150 feet, it'll turn on the gas motor and start flying like a plane. And then it'll use a electric motor braking to recharge the electric batteries and power the whole system in flight off the gas engine.
That's badass.
Way too smart for me on this deal. What's something like that? What's something like that cost?
That one's about $50,000 as well, and then it really depends on what kind of camera or system that you run on it. It can be cheap or extremely expensive from there.
What's the payload on something like that?
Anywhere between 10 and 150,000.
Whoa, hold on now. How much weight?
Were you looking for money or weight?
Wise.
Wait.
Oh, weight, 5.5 pounds.
Okay.
6 pounds.
What now? And it's got 10-foot wingspans. Now, what are you doing with? Do you do windmills with that too, or is that for other?
No, surveys on that. So mapping is what we generally do with it now, and we're trying to work on a wildlife management project with that, as well as search and rescue, and then fire.
Is it pretty quiet, or is it a loud one?
It's as loud as a weed whacker running in the air.
That's a good analogy for one too, because that's about what they sound like. So that you said for fire, so for forest fires they'd use that.
Yep.
So like map it, like they're not putting it, just like see where the fire is, where it's headed.
Yeah. See where the fire is, see where it's going, and then hey, maybe we got to evacuate that town or evacuate this group of houses, or where do we need to put the suppressant?
When you're doing it for land surveys, that's going to replace the old guy with the old sticks and the deal he looks through. And y'all's is probably a whole lot more accurate and a lot easier. What's it?
Accuracy's right there, but
it's a lot more fun.
How long does it take to map out a 1,000-acre ranch with that compared to someone doing it the old-fashioned way?
1,000 acres will take about an hour and a half.
So I've never seen this. What do they do?
They've got a tripod-looking thing and a guy and a camera, and somebody waves, and they put some orange markers up. And it takes them about 7 days to do it.
Yeah. No, I've seen that. I thought you were talking about like with a measuring stick.
What's it cost to use an hour? I'm assuming y'all charge by the hour, right?
So usually we'll charge by the day or a half day, unless it's like a long going contract where it's repeatable business and we're doing it constantly for somebody. But if it's a one-off, we'll either charge them a half day or a full day, because we have to take time to leave the office, go out to on-site, do the job, come back, process the data, etc., and then get it to them. So usually we don't charge by the exact hour. We try to either by the half day or full day, or we'll set up a contract.
What's a half-day survey cost for someone out there interested?
Anyway, between $500 to $750, and then a full day is $1,350 to $2,500, depending on what we're doing.
Cost effective then.
That's not terrible. That's not bad at all.
So do y'all charge? You said y'all got. Did you say 5 offices or 9 offices?
No. We have 3 offices in North Dakota and then 1 in Minnesota.
So 4. So how do you guys try to do your schedule, because you go all over the place? I mean, do you wait until there's enough jobs in an area and then go, or is it like a revolving door? Like you're here and then you just kind of work your way back to wherever you are?
It's a sweet spot between the both of those. And we have one guy that runs the schedule, and he pounds his head against the wall every day.
I can understand that, because that's the job I have. It's not easy. But a guy that's on a schedule like that, he don't realize what's going on in the field all the time, so he just expects on day 2 you're going to be here no matter what happened on day 1.
That is the nice part, though. I mean, he flies as well, so he knows exactly what we're going through and make the schedule pretty well.
So you were in Brownsville. You travel a lot?
Yeah. So far, I mean, I've probably put on 20,000 miles driving this year, and I just got hired on in February. Been to, I don't know, about 12 states, worked in 8. So
when are you going to be back this way again?
Down in Texas might be a bit. I know I'm going to, I believe, Missouri next. Or not Missouri, sorry. Arkansas.
No, you better.
Texas is a hard state to fly in right now, because you guys get so damn hot that it's not fun to work outside in that type of heat. So we try to get it done either beginning of the year or the end of the year when it cools off a little bit there.
I'll bet you lunch, a steak dinner, that y'all have been hotter than we have been this year.
Don't take that bet.
I don't know. I was down in Del Rio right after Brownsville, and it hit like 110.
That's not Texas. That's
pretty
That's
hot for me.
Mexico.
We'll
That's not
give
Texas.
that back to old Mexico. If
Where we are, we haven't had any summer this year. I don't think we've been 100 maybe one day this year. We've been in the 80s most all the time. It's the coolest July we've ever had starting off. Because y'all were hotter than hell for about 3 weeks ago, weren't y'all?
93 is our high.
But then on the flip side, it was 60 degrees here this morning, and it's up to 70
that would be
now.
nice. I'm not saying it's cooler in Texas than North Dakota. Let's don't get that. I'm just saying this year y'all have been warmer than we have, I bet. But that makes sense.
Definitely been
So
dry.
y'all don't need the hot weather running the drones.
No.
Does that affect the drone, or you guys just don't like being out in it? Both.
Both.
Is it
Yeah, there can be temp limitations on them. Otherwise, it's just too hot to fly in.
like
But
Temp limitations for most of these multi-rotors is about 104 to 110. You can't go above that. The motors and the batteries get too
Makes
hot.
sense.
That makes sense. So in that type of deal, could you fly the gas-powered one in hotter temperature just because it doesn't have the batteries and stuff like that?
Yeah, and the nice thing about the plane, it stays moving, so it's constantly cooling itself down. Where if these ones are hovering, they're building a lot of heat.
That makes sense.
This has been the most educational podcast we've had, I think.
Well, and I insulted our guests. So
Well.
at least their home state, not them personally, but.
Well, if you ever come up to North Dakota, we'll show you a good time.
Now that I have no doubt. There are some.
Trust me.
There's a bar on every corner.
Andy's made an ass of himself in North Dakota already, so you wouldn't be getting his cherry on that deal.
He's just tacky. That's all he is.
Yeah, how dry? Is it dry where y'all are at North? Is this bad as they say it is? A drought up there right now?
it's not good. I mean, Grand Forks has got a decent amount of rain here recently, but crops are not looking good up north. My girlfriend has some, or their family land up there, and it's barely growing. They're kind of hoping for half the yield they've been getting. But then you go down south, and my buddy has some land down there, and it's not looking too bad. Not where they've been at the past couple of years. It went straight from a pretty much flood to drought.
I was told western North Dakota is not as bad as the middle of North Dakota is.
That's correct. And the crazy part is it's been so dry to the point where our boss, he just pulled his boat out of the water because he doesn't think he'll be able to get it out of the water later this year because the lake's so low.
That's nuts.
That is crazy. But so you guys are coming into your rainy season, though, right? Isn't that what we learned on this podcast?
Summer, June, July, and August. Y'all's wettest months are July and August, aren't they?
Late July and August.
So there's still a little bit of hope, maybe.
Hope for water, but I mean, for at least
Oh,
the
yeah, no, they're
farmers,
screwed.
it's going to be too late for them. But
Yeah, it's hard to come back from a late season like that. And the downfall is like last year and the year before, it rained so much late season they couldn't get the crops that they had grow out of the ground.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember talking to we'd have a lot of different people on from those neck of the woods, and they'd be same thing.
Now, Trevor, you're a waterfowl hunter, aren't you? Now,
Yep.
Adam, do you waterfowl hunt?
I do not. I wish I could get into it. I just haven't spent the time yet. I'm more of a fisherman or pheasant hunter myself.
Do not get into duck hunting. It's like golf. It's an expensive fucking hobby. If you've never done it, gambling, golf, don't do that shit. Just trust me. Trevor, Trevor, do you hunt a lot?
yeah. Just graduated, so I mean, during the fall of school, I'd get out, I don't know, 45, 50 days a year.
That's the lot.
And, yep, probably a little bit too much time. Should have focused on school more, but
Do you do what you like?
got to experience
Do you like doing what you do for a living?
What was that?
Then
Yeah, I've loved it so far. I mean, being able to travel, see the country,
then
pretty good paycheck.
sounds to me like you made a right choice in college. Then, are you getting married soon?
No, not
Uh-oh.
anytime soon.
Is she going to
but,
listen to this?
Never know.
Oh yeah, she's gonna
Is
listen.
she going to?
She will be.
Is she aware that you're not getting married anytime soon?
I mean, not at any time in the next couple of months, year.
Months.
But, you know, never know.
Went
what's
from
in
a
the
couple
future.
months to years. Yep, you're treading water. Have y'all been dating a long time?
Yeah, been dating, I guess, a little over a year
That's
now.
not a long time.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Yeah, it is. You've listened to us before grill people about the relationship status, haven't you, on here? So.
Oh yeah.
I mean, what?
Should have
Does she
expected
have a
that
job?
one.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, she works in Fargo. She's a nurse down at the
Oh,
Stanfield.
she makes good money then.
campus there.
Does she bitch when you hunt a lot?
She actually comes with a decent amount of the time. She doesn't shoot, but she likes just kind of the experience going out in the field. She didn't really grow up hunting, so see a mallard in your face wasn't something she was used to.
Don't get your wife involved with your hobbies. It takes the fun out of the hobby part. Trust me.
I know it's fun.
It's been good so far.
It's fun right now, but
yeah, 10 years down the road and she wants to go all the time, you're going to be like, fuck, she's got to go to this time. Rather go with the guys and have fun. Don't listen to her bitch at me the whole time.
How did y'all meet?
Met at a bar
There
dancing,
you go.
actually.
A lot better than our last guy. He admitted that he met his wife on Tinder. Which, hey, I mean,
happens,
listen, that's the way of the world.
Better than meeting her on Grindr, I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, it'd be a shock to everybody.
Trevor is one nervous puppy. You're thinking your boss is going to kill you over this, huh?
No, the advertisement.
That's right.
Good.
Yeah, people that listen to this are all like-minded, so they're not going to be offended by this at all. Do you, does your boss, is he a drone flyer also? Is he just an investor? Is he actually flying and part of it?
Yeah, I mean, just about everyone at the company here flies. So my manager, Ryan, I mean, he's out in the field just like me.
Whose idea was this business? Because this is a hell of a concept. I'm very impressed.
So we have 3 owners at the company, and one of them actually flies for General Atomics as a military drone pilot, a contract military drone pilot. And then the other two of them were prior U.S. Air Force, and then another guy, he's been in aviation his whole life at the University of North Dakota, and just saw it up and coming, and they all got together and started it up.
You said something real interesting then. You're one of the guys that's owner. He flies for General Dynamics as a contract guy for the military. Okay.
Yep.
That's where your money's made right there. When you get out of the military and you get to do the same job you did in the military, work in the private sector, you make 10 times the amount of money. So we're hiring, our government is using ex-military people to do the same thing that they're doing in the military. Pretty interesting. I didn't realize there was that big a demand for drone flying by our government right now.
Well, yeah, of course there is. Of course there is. You made me forget my question again. Oh, do you guys have any like personal drones that you tinker with at your house, or you get enough of it with at work?
Oh, I do.
I mean, now I get enough of it with work, but always kind of tinkering, building, just flying random ones. But.
So
That's fun flying versus work flying. It's a lot more fun when you're flying them for your personal hobby.
Right. I mean, you kind of customize it, take this, put this in, take this out, and, kind of, like every mechanic has a car that's just like a Frankenstein that is just a badass. So I can see you guys tinkering with it in your off time. Do you take things like ideas that you see at work and like, hey, I wonder if I can put this on mine somehow?
I used to do that. I haven't done that in a while. We've been so damn busy with work lately. It's been good. We've been fortunate, thankfully, through most of the pandemic that our work really hasn't slowed down one bit. We've been constantly growing still. Yeah. So, 6 years ago, I was the first pilot at ISight, and now we got 22 pilots and 15 are full-time pilots, and the other 7 are contracts.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, Contactless, 6 feet apart. I can see where you guys would make it through the pandemic pretty well.
Plus, they're in the energy sector and the one that's growing, the wind energy. I think it's great. I think your bosses made a hell of a move. I think it's a cool job.
Cutting edge for sure.
Yep. And the Silicon of the North, Silicon Valley of the North.
Of
now.
the drone. Who the hell would have guessed that? Not me. That's why I stuck my foot in my mouth. So if somebody wanted to get in contact with you guys, they had a land survey they wanted, or a count, animal count, waterfowl count, whatever. How do they get a hold of you guys, and how do they get the ball rolling on something like that?
They could start with our website, IsightDrones.com. It has all of our contacts on there. You can email us, request a quote, etc. Right from there. That'd probably be the easiest.
But like, you're kind of screwed. You'd have to wait until you guys are like in the area, right? And that would be like a scheduling thing.
I'm sure they'll go anywhere.
The nice part is we usually have guys all over. I mean, we have guys in Texas all the way up to North Dakota right now, all the way out to New York.
So you're pretty so if somebody wanted this, they could get it done pretty relatively quick.
Yep.
Very cool. Very cool. This has been, like Jeff said, this has been a informational podcast. So I'm telling you what, the stuff that you guys do, it's cutting edge, and it's really fun to hear about it.
Alex is the media guy.
Yeah. Well, you did good. You did good. This was a lot of fun. What do you guys got for the rest of the day? You flying today?
Adam, God dang it, I knew damn well I called the wrong thing. Shit.
I didn't
Adam's
want
the
to
media guy.
publicly correct you.
No, correct him. He's a dickhead. What are you guys doing the rest of the day?
I got a meeting, and then we're gonna go fly this bad boy.
What are you flying? Can you tell us?
Just some farmland.
Trevor's going to go buy an engagement ring now.
Might have to.
Well, we appreciate you guys being on here. We appreciate y'all sponsoring the podcast. We'd like to have y'all on again. It's been this has been a very educational one for me.
It's been a lot of fun for us as well.
If you guys, if y'all get down to Texas, look us up, and we'll go shoot some birds or something. All right.
And Adam, I'll let you buy me that steak you owe me, since it's been cooler so far this summer here than it has been up there.
He didn't take that bet. He didn't take that bet. You guys be safe, fly straight, and we'll catch y'all down the road. Okay.
God bless you guys.
See you guys.
Thank you.
Take care.
Take care.
Damn it! I didn't beat it.
Everybody we talk to, you find a way to put your foot in the mouth.
I'm gonna look it up right now, Jeff.
North Dakota and South Dakota are my probably two states I would move to if I had a family.
Okay.
Seriously.
Okay.
There you are.
But who in the
trashing.
fuck would ever think that it's the Silicon Valley of the drone world?
Well, I did.
No, you did
Yes,
not.
I did.
You're so full of shit. That's why your eyes are brown.
Whatever, Andy.
Hold on. No. You're not going anywhere. Sit down right there. Because I'm going to show you. The Fargo, it's a cult city, Jeff.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that.
city.
It's cold, and they have a lot of days off up there in the wintertime.
Cultish. So, here we go.
They have a point on Waco.
What?
Some weird shit around Waco, Texas, where that Branch Davidians were. And then we also have the House of Yahweh cult deal going on and stuff. Texas ain't no saint there, I'm telling you.
The numbers are on our side, though. We got more normal people. Plus,
What?
Plus, like, who the
Everybody
hell?
I've ever known from North Dakota is a great person.
Look at
I've
this.
never known a person
Look at
better.
this. North Dakota linked to notorious son of Sam murder, part of new Netflix documentary. Cult City.
It don't say nothing about a cult city. It said they had to investigate a satanic cult.
It's a cult city, Jeff. Cult City.
First of all, it's talking about Minot.
Was it Minot? North Dakota.
Yeah, Minot. That's a long way. Andy, everybody, we appreciate y'all listening to us. Andy's about 350 miles away from what he was talking about already.
I was in the general area.
That's like saying Knox City, Texas, and some shit happening in fucking Joplin, Missouri. It's about the same distance.
You're insane.
All right. Thank y'all. God bless y'all. Have a great week.
Check out all of our wonderful sponsors. Check out ISight Drone Service if you've got some stuff that you need surveyed. Check out Dirty Duck Coffee, Lucky Duck, Looking Glass Duck Club Podcast, Stanfield Hunting Outfitters, Bangtail Whiskey, Goose Creek Retrievers, Boss Shot Shells, Dive Bomb Industries, Pacific Custom Calls, and Gun Dog Outdoors.